listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast about one of the most legendary bands of all time, Deep Purple. We take a look at the music, history, and people behind the band Deep Purple and beyond. Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, the first and only podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 208, Glenn Hughes Unplugged. And coming to you from Tornado Alley here outside of Chicago, I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John Booger Matola.
Are you picking your nose, or is it Booger from Revenge of the Nerds? Or
Yep.
What happened?
Well, I mean, come on. We've just been talking about it the whole episode. So a few episodes ago, I let out a bone-rattling, teeth-shattering, earth-quaking belch that is only rivaled by Booger's belch in the belching contest in Revenge of the Nerds, 1984.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's the only thing I could do after that.
Yeah, so to those of you that were treated to the other several hundred people actually that got to hear the belching version of the episode that before it was scrubbed from history. Yeah, so John was, using his cough switch because I guess, I don't know, you'd had a big meal of spicy peppers and carbonated
beverages. Yeah. And apparently the switch was not functional that night.
But the switch was functional in our Zoom, which is where I get the audio from, and John records his own audio on his end and sends it to me. So I wasn't hearing anything, and I'm just talking about like serious stuff, and John's belching in the background. But it was actually almost the foreground, and you sent me your audio and I replaced it with the audio I had, and unbeknownst to me that what you had recorded all of that. So hopefully that's been resolved for today's episode.
The funny thing about it, which I think we've had this issue in the past, when there have been a couple of times when listeners, usually it's either Rich or Scott, will tell us that because they're such loyal listeners, and they will text us and be like, there was some weird noise going on there. But the funniest part of it is like you having zero reaction to the crazy noises going on in the background, but just because you didn't hear them. So right. When Rich sent us the clip of that, I was laughing so hard I was crying, because not only was we were just talking about, and this was Mark One's first performance, and it was just had this big echo on it and everything, and you just kept going like nothing happened.
That's because I'm a consummate professional. I was just like, the show must go on. I'm not gonna let that rattle me.
Oh, but I must have listened to it like half a dozen times, and it got like, it didn't get less funnier, just because I think your non-reaction had a lot to do with it, because
I just keep going on. Oh yeah, Mark 1, blah blah blah.
and there's nothing funny about Mark 1, so it's not. But yeah, that's what goes on behind the scenes, folks. If you're the ones to catch that limited edition episode, don't go back and try and hear it. But
patrons only. If you're in the patrons only Discord, there are some clips there for you to enjoy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think Rich provided a couple of them.
Yeah, it's no longer in our podcast feed. It's been replaced with a scrubbed version. I couldn't in good conscience leave that, even though some people like you wanted me to.
No, I didn't want you to leave it. Rich wanted you.
Oh, that's where maybe Rich wanted to.
I was just like, get rid of it. I don't want that to be the episode where they're just like, listen to Matola, that fucking pig. Which, I mean, I think most people will say that anyway.
They might. Oh man. So we are getting some nasty weather here today. They're predicting for the central and southern United States. They said severe weather that will affect 90 million people, and I am one of those people. So they're saying we might have some tornadoes rolling through later. So we might be joined by 4 more people and a dog if the tornado sirens go off, or you might be treated to the sound of my emergency alert going off on my phone. We'll see. Although it looks like the bad weather's really slated to start right after we're done recording, so that's convenient. We were supposed to record earlier.
Mm-hmm.
My son had strep throat, so I had to take him to the hospital this morning, got him on his antibiotics. So it was a bit of a rough night with pre-tornado thunderstorms, and the dog is a little uneasy because I think she can sense the whatever atmospheric disturbances. So going on a little bit less sleep than even normal. But hey,
either that or you have a spirit or a specter in your house, because they can also, can't they also sense the dead?
A specter. Listen to you. You're like a Ray.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about Ghostbusters. Yeah.
What was Ray's?
A spook or a specter.
Spook or a specter? Are you troubled by spooks or specters? What was Ray's last name? Why can't I think of Ray's
Ray
last
Stantz?
name? Stantz. There we go.
I like how casual you are about it, probably from living out there so long. You think a tornado might just be like rolling through. I'd just be like, holy shit, get underground.
They're as casual here about it as, we were about hurricanes back there. You're like, a hurricane's coming, whatever, like.
It's like, great, I can't wait to have no power.
The good thing is with a tornado, well, I should say, the good thing about a hurricane is you get, usually like a week to prepare and you know what it's coming and everything. With a tornado, you sometimes get like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, no minutes if it starts right on you. So it's yeah, but whatever, we're pretty safe here in the basement. And we did have a pretty bad last couple summers ago, a really bad tornado come through right through the city that I'm in, and tore the roof off of my sister, well, part of the roof off my sister and brother-in-law's house. And it's yeah, it can get pretty nasty out here, but usually we're pretty safe where I am. That was the first one, that's the first serious tornado that's really touched down in my city in quite a number of years. So hopefully we will not reprise that today. But hey, folks, the Deep Purple podcast is 100% listener supported and ad free. So if you receive value from our show and you want to consider supporting us, you can do so a number of ways. One is by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can buy some merch at our Etsy store. You can become a patron on Patreon or on PayPal for as little as $1 a month. That gains you access to our ratings spreadsheet, as well as our exclusive patrons only Discord chat channel, where we keep in touch throughout the week and talk about the latest episodes and share videos of John belching and all that sort of stuff. You can donate on Cash App. Does $DPPOD to donate on Cash App, and you can also support us on Ko-fi. So appreciate it if you like I said, if you get any value from us, give us a little value back. It all goes right back into the show, supporting the show and helping us. Again, we've been talking about the rainy day computer fund for a while. My computer now is almost at the 10-year mark. I built it about 10 years ago, so I'm gonna have to upgrade pretty soon. And that will definitely help us towards that goal.
And also, buy me some Tums, like
buy John some Gas X.
Gas X.
Yeah, I wonder how we can account for that. Like, the Deep Purple podcast does not pay for our medical yet, our medical insurance. We're 4,000 or 5,000 patrons short of that, but any day now. But thanks to our executive level patrons coming in at the $25 Uncommon Man tier, Ovis Nakvi and Purple Maniac. At the £15 15 Squid tier, Alan Ain't Too Proud to Beg. At the £10 Good Doctor tier, Dr. Jill Brees and Dr. Mike Catan. At the Turn It Up to $11 tier, Clay Wambacher, Frank Teelgard Mortensen, Mikkel Steen, and Will Porter. Always want to say Alan Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
I saw you go like
every time,
and I was waiting for it too, and I was
muscle
like,
memory. He was there for so long. And at the $10 Someone Came tier, Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, and Better Call Saul Evans. Thank you so much. Just a little update, actually. I had posted something on social media the other day about Mick Underwood, and Mick Underwood's niece actually contacted or responded and said, just to let you know, I'm Mick Underwood's niece. He's very sick. He's suffering from Alzheimer's right now. So really sad to hear that, and sending a lot of love to Mick and his family. I have had a couple of family members go through that, and it's very, very difficult and very sad to watch that happen. So sending all our best to Mick and his family. But in good news, we do have something that we have not had in a while.
Oh, I almost forgot about that.
Oh my goodness. That is the, they did not specify a percussion instrument. So I'm going to give a preview for everybody. If you want to write an Apple Podcasts review, we've got that, which is the flexitone. Then we also have the Vibra-Slap, and the latest on the scene, if I can remember how to play this, not that I was any great shakes at it. Oh, right in the teeth.
I heard that.
The Jew's harp. And I do have another mystery percussion instrument behind me that I will bring out if we get another one. But this is an Apple Podcast review. For some reason, somewhere, some number of episodes ago, we started playing the flexitone, and we've branched out to other percussion / weird instruments. If we get a review, so.
Is it a big glass jug?
Oh, that would be a good one. I don't really have a. You know what? I do have a glass jug. Maybe I could bust that out.
Oh, you know, it'd be great. Would be a theremin. maybe we could have one. We could buy one before Halloween.
Funny when it came up on my time hop the other day when we went to Asheville, North Carolina, 4 years ago, something like that. For spring break, we toured the Moog factory. It was one of the coolest things ever. Just saw all the synthesizers, saw the room where they build them and they repair them and all that stuff, and they had a theremin there, the Moog version of the theremin, and it was really cool playing with it. But
they call it the Theramoog?
Yet. A Theramoog. It was one of the things that was maybe the more affordable things there, but still not exactly. If anyone wants to buy me a Moog synthesizer, I'll have it right here to my side, and I'll bust out a little Moog riff for you one day. So anyway, we did get an Apple Podcast review. That's what the sound of those percussion instruments mean. Nice. This one is from Exile66 in the UK. 5 stars. Excuse me. I'm a little hoarse today. The title of this is Excellent, Well-Researched, Informative, and Done with Humor. This is excellent. Loads of albums that in the past meant so much to me have been brought back to life over 2-hour chunks, and respect is given to the pre-1984 Whitesnake, which are the best episodes for me. So thank you, Exile66.
Yeah, love to Whitesnake. Love to classic Whitesnake.
I appreciate you supporting the show and with that review and your kind words. So really appreciate it. And if you want to write a 5-star review, please do, and let us know what percussion instrument or instruments you would like rung in your honor or played poorly by me in your honor. Although I'm getting pretty good at the flexitone, I think. The Vibra-Slap is pretty I think I've got the basics of that. The Jew's harp, I need a lot of work. I need to watch. I did watch one YouTube video, but I think I need more.
Yeah, we want to make sure you don't crack your teeth on it.
Yeah, I don't need to end the episode early to go get emergency dental surgery. It actually sounds a lot. It doesn't actually hurt, but it sounds like it hurts. It sounds a lot worse than it is. But hey, before we get to the show proper, we do have one more segment we need to do, and that is Postcards from the Edge of Connecticut. And oh my goodness, so many of them recently. So we had two series in a row of 3-part postcards per episode. And this latest one is actually dated before those. So this was supposed to come first. And this is a picture of Joe Stump playing the guitar. Yeah. And it says, Nate, now here is some Joe Stump for you with James Taylor on keys. Pete. So I don't know if there's a story. Do you have a story about James Taylor on keys?
I think just the keyboard player looks like James Taylor.
Yeah, it's hard to say from this picture.
Yeah, I think that was the joke of the night.
And if you don't know, this is when Pete and John and Rich and Mark all went to go see the Stormbringer Deep Purple cover band a few weeks back. So that's a late arrival for some reason. But since it arrived so late, it came right along with another postcard, the most recent postcard. And this one is it says Colorful Connecticut. It's like a little artist's palette with a brush through it and like some little different scenes of Connecticut. And but if you notice it, if you look at it closely, you'll see a thumb holding.
Oh yeah.
So it might be hard to tell on your end, but this, to me, I'm like, what is this? It looks like a photo of somebody holding a postcard.
Right.
And so when I turn it over, it says, Nate, now here are greetings from 3 from Connecticut for you. Pete, Mark, and John. So you saw this already. So did you sign this or did you?
Yes.
You were here.
Yeah.
And in red and again you see that. Well, I gotta cover up my vital information here, but well, he's taken to printing labels for my name because he's sending me so many postcards. So he's printing out like Avery labels, and he's got umlauts over the vowels and stuff for my name. But you can see again, you see the thumb holding the picture of this postcard.
Well, that's
and
weird.
Then in red ink over that it says, "OMG, forgot to address. Good thing I took a photo. Forgot my beer, lost my pen." So there you go. That makes some sense of the text messages that were going back. So I guess what he did is he made this postcard, took pictures of it, and then put it in the mail and realized that he never put a stamp on it. So he printed up a new card with the pictures and sent it.
Well, yeah, that was the day that I was in Pete and Mark's area for work. And I let them.
That's what.
And I let them know, hey, I'm going to be down there for like a few hours if you want to meet up. And we were able to like meet up for literally 5 minutes. And the first thing that Gardo does is hey, John, and then he hands me a postcard, turns around, and is like, sign it. And he's just like on my back, you know. He gave me that in the pen. I signed it. I was like, of course, we're going to do a postcard
and then he
first.
Lost his pen, and then I was part of this text, but he bought some beer and then left it at the store. He forgot what a mess.
And then he goes, John, go pick it up. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that if I'm like, hey, did somebody leave like a 12-pack or something here? He's like, yeah, that's mine. Give me it. You know. But I was gone by the time he sent that.
It, you know, who knows?
Yeah, well, I think they would have I was gone by that time, anyways. But yeah, he had me sign the postcard, which I was like, oh, this is great. I get to be part of something.
So it says on the back, it says, qui transtuli sustene, he who transplanted still sustains. State capital, it's then some Connecticut facts, and then I guess pictures of what we're seeing here. State capital, Hartford, Harkness Tower, Yale University, New Haven, flowering pink and white dogwood, Wilbur Cross parkways are popular arteries. Sailing, water sports, and swimming are a few of the many activities enjoyed here. State flower, the mountain laurel. State bird, the robin. There you go. It'll lead us in a series of postcards. This is going to be the postcard podcast pretty soon.
Right.
But thank you, Peter, for sending me like what a stroke of good luck that he had taken pictures of the postcard. And it didn't get lost. Oh, sorry, my yodeling pickle was vibrating on the table here. So yeah, if you want to check out other like-minded podcasts about deep dives on bands, then check out deepdivepodcastnetwork.com, where you can find all of our great shows. And that's it. So today's episode might be a shorter one. We've said that before. Usually doesn't come true, but I think this time will be accurate. But I got sucked into like a YouTube rabbit hole a while back, actually. So I kind of marked this down as a potential episode, which was seeing Glenn Hughes perform acoustic versions of some of his better known songs. So I was like, and I had seen a couple of them, and I didn't think much of it. But then I said, let me see how many others there are, and there's just a ton of them on YouTube. So I thought it'd be interesting to take a small handful of them, spanning his many different bands and careers and eras and stuff, and listen to him do acoustic versions of some of his songs. So that's what we got this week. And John, have you seen any acoustic Glenn Hughes stuff?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure that I've seen something, but when you said Glenn Hughes Unplugged, I thought there was an album that I had missed. And then you were like, no, this is just culled from many different performances. So, no, I mean, like I said, I might have heard something over the years, but nothing really rings a bell or stands out. So might be my first time hearing it.
Awesome. Well, it's there's a lot of stuff out there, varying levels of video and audio quality, but some interesting stuff. There are a few shows he's done completely unplugged that I would one that I have and one that I would really like to get my hands on that we could review in full one day. But I thought this would be a good entry point into listening to him in kind of a different format, because you're used to hearing him mostly singing and playing electric bass. Sometimes just singing, very rarely. But this is mostly him singing and playing an electric guitar. I'm sorry, singing and playing an acoustic guitar, or in a couple of instances, singing and playing an acoustic bass. So, thought that would be an interesting thing to check out. So, so the first track I have up is from his first, real first band, and that is of course Trapeze. And this is I don't know if you're getting the audio on this. Yeah, you are. So, and this is him singing Black Cloud by Trapeze. So here we go. Might have to adjust volume on some of these, but giving somebody a hug on stage there.
This was during his short hair phase.
Short hair, Hughesy. He's at the Rhino Pub.
Looks like a big loot.
So here we go. How you feel?
And a pretty nice little run he did on the acoustic there. Most of these I have not. Most of these I haven't seen all the way through, so I'm kind of going to be seeing these for the first time.
Where's the Rhino Pub, I wonder?
Beer, football, rock and roll. Looks like it's in the UK. Based on the... ballsy to get up there with just an acoustic, and you gotta have a pretty strong voice to support that. But obviously, it's
oh yeah, I wouldn't have thought that this would have gone badly for him.
No, oh Glenn.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know if he's got the chops for this. Sounds pretty good.
Like when we eventually get to like Starkers in Tokyo with Coverdale doing the same thing with Adrian Vandenberg, it's like another situation where like, yep, he's got it. It's a weird acoustic he has, and I noticed he has it in another one of the videos. I don't know if it's the one we're going to get to today, but
maybe he borrowed it from Ritchie.
It does have that kind of like, it looks like a guitar Ritchie would be using.
Yeah.
But it would have some like weird, you know, like 13 strings or something, you know, it would be like, oh, that's not a guitar, that's a medieval travel lute. Like the Rhino Pub is in the UK.
Yeah.
10 King Street, Dover. That's the thing I'm thinking of.
Looking through the sunshine to my judgment day.
I don't know that I've ever seen him play guitar before.
It's right on the water, right by the channel.
Hmm.
They don't really talk about the channel anymore, do they?
What's that?
You know, the channel that goes underneath the UK to France, underneath the water.
Oh, did somebody just get a tip?
But yeah, it's great. It's not like the greatest. It's like kind of like a shot from the audience sort of thing. Some of these
Yeah.
are, and some of these are more professionally done. But pretty pretty great seeing him just do acoustic versions. And that's like a song that you wouldn't really think would lend itself well to be an acoustic version.
Yeah, but I mean, he kind of proved that untrue. I think it was he did it pretty well. Like, I mean, I don't think it's a stretch saying that since he's a accomplished vocalist and bass player that he'd be a good guitar player as well, or at least rhythm guitar player. But yeah, he sounded pretty good on this. I don't have a problem with, like, he didn't go too crazy, but it's just like you can tell that he kind of threw in his more modern approach to or his later approach to vocals in there, because in the early the early trapeze stuff, or all the trapeze stuff, he was a lot more raw. He didn't do a lot more of that kind of those runs, that soulful, high voice type of stuff, and he threw a couple of those things in.
Like all
Yeah,
that
which
sort
I
of
mean is
stuff.
like it's him now and it wasn't him then. And I mean, I get him doing that because that's his style now, but I kind of wish that he would have if he was going to strip it down, I kind of wish that he would have maybe left that stuff out, just because it's like it can get a little much sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance of that happening ever.
Well, I mean, that being said, it was still a great version of it, but I mean, I would go back to the studio version any day of the week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I mean, what a treat that must have been to see that.
Oh yeah, and there's this one. I think we might get to it today. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe it's not on this one. Maybe it'll be in a future one. But there's this one he did called "An Evening with Glenn Hughes." And there's a lot of videos if you really want to hear some really good stuff. Him at Leicester Square Theatre in London doing this solo acoustic show and doing like excerpts from his life story, and it's kind of like a storyteller's, I guess, sort of thing. Although that even storytellers would have been old at that point because this was like 2011. But man, I would have killed to be at that show. That would just be so awesome.
Mm.
One of the best shows I ever saw was Billy Joel doing something like that. It was at PPAC.
Mm-hmm.
This must have been the late 90s or something. And I don't even know how I ended up going. I think Scott had an extra ticket or something, our buddy Scott, and said, "Hey, you want to go see Billy Joel?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like, I've never been.
Which is the correct response to, you want to go see Billy Joel?
I've never been a big Billy Joel. Like, he's got some stuff I really do like. Like, I really do like his first album, Cold Spring Harbor. Like, but it's never really been really my thing. Like, is more, like, and one of Jen's least favorite songs ever is the Scenes from Italian Restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she will audibly groan if that song is even mentioned. Never mind if she has to listen to it. A bottle of red, like. But anyway, I was like, sure, I'll go, and it ended up being like, it wasn't a Billy Joel concert. It was just Billy Joel and a piano, and him telling stories about like how he wrote songs, both like lyrically, what was going on in his life, how he created, like how he did because he's an amazing piano player, how he came up with the different parts, talking about himself touring with Elton John and how they would do these piano duels, and it was fascinating, and it was like, wow, man, if I could see something like this with someone I really really liked, imagine how good it could be. So yeah. I wish I had kind of seen that, but anyway, I did not. So that's the first one, but I do have one more trapeze song, and this one should be a favorite of yours because this one is Coast to Coast.
Hi everybody, I'm Glenn Hughes, and this is for all the beautiful people of Japan, and for all of us in Los Angeles this evening. We love you very much, and God bless you all.
of sync.
On a day,
Just a little bit.
passing the road I know so well. Seems the more
And this was from the era of when he did the album Resonate.
Give me more, you take.
So I think it was like
And if
2016.
I try, soon it will show.
Sounds
Keep
great.
me strong.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And know
Now this is
Yeah.
one that you obviously will lends itself to an acoustic guitar.
Yes, more so than Black Cloud.
from coast to coast, I've been leaving my hard times.
And his voice is in the last one. He had a lot of delay on his voice, and this one's just a little more clean. I always think it's really interesting seeing an artist play like a guitar or play an instrument that they don't normally play, and just kind of showing how versatile he really is.
And if I try, soon it will show and keep me strong.
He's getting a good workout with all those rings on that hand.
Know that
Yeah, I was gonna
He's
say.
got a lot of rings.
Yeah.
From coast to coast, I've been leaving my hard times behind.
So I'll have a link in the show notes to all of these videos if you want to check them out for yourself.
Behind, behind. I will be there for you. Will you be there for me in heaven? I will be there for you. Will you be there for me in heaven? Ooh, 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 ooh. I love you. Said I love you. Said I love you. God bless you all.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really nice version of that song.
Yeah, that was it's a little bit much at the end with the see you in heaven and I love you. You just did it like 3 or 4 times and it's like, all right, just end it. Jesus. but I mean, Glenn is he's not known for holding back. So
No.
or being thrifty with his vocal runs or whatever else. So but that's great. I love I love the chord changes in that song.
Yeah,
I
it's
always
a
have.
beautiful
It's
song.
one of my favorite ballads of all time.
Yeah, really nice job on that one.
Yeah.
That's one I would love to see him do live, but I don't think he. I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna get a chance to see him do it based on what he's doing lately, but we'll see. You never know.
Well, if there's ever a Glenn Hughes Storytellers tour going on, we're going.
I'm there. I mean, the Deep Purple one alone will be great if he hits the United States, but Storytellers, I'm there. I would even just like if anyone's got a video, because there's some really nice videos from that Leicester show, and apparently I think he had done like 4 or 5 of them, but I haven't found like a complete or like a DVD of it or anything like that. So if there's one out there and you guys know about it, let us know, because I would love to see the full concert. There is one he does down under, like a Australia show that's really good too. So I'd like to check that one out. I do have that DVD actually, but I have actually never seen it. Kind of waiting to maybe experience it on the show one time. But all right, so that's it for trapeze for this episode anyway. Which next brings us to his Deep Purple days, and this one is called Sail Away. This is another like audience recording here.
That's a song called I Found a Woman. And a woman in general, I left Deep Purple in 1976, and the band sort of broke up, as you know, if you remember that period. And I was very sad, and I lost my girlfriend, and someone gave me a piano, a very famous pianist, and I fell in love with the piano. It's the last song I wrote from the album Play Me Out. So the song is called I Found a Woman to Play Me Out, but the song is about my piano because it was the only thing that was making me at all feel comfortable in my own skin. That's the story about that one. And but really it's great to see everybody. And
we're getting the tail end of the storytellers. I found a woman and she's a piano.
I have a new guitar from Gibson, my company, and they've sent me one like this thing like the Cowboys in the 50s, but it has a tendency to do that. So I'm getting a bruise somewhere, and I shouldn't have one.
Did he say I got a new guitar from Gibson, my company?
Yeah.
I didn't know he owned Gibson.
Maybe he means the one that endorses him.
I guess so. It's got a different feel to it.
Yeah.
And the Coverdale part here. It's like a Muppet face. Now he's doing his Glenn Hughes impression.
He nailed the Coverdale part.
He did. This is such a great song.
Yeah, I love this song, yeah.
Very complicated attempt on the acoustic, but he's nailing it. The crowd's going nuts.
Does he have somebody playing the bass behind him? Sounds like there's some low end there.
He's just droning on that open E.
I love it when he trades off the parts because you feel like he's doing a Coverdale impression and then he just goes into his Hughes voice.
And that's like he's doing a Hughes impression.
Well, those are the parts that I thought were the most, I think, the challenging to buy on his classic Deep Purple tour was when he was handling both his and Coverdale's vocals because they're so different as vocalists, even though they complement each other so well. Him doing some of Coverdale's parts was like, felt like a stretch just because of the nature of his vocals, his voice.
It does sound like there's keys behind it. Maybe there's somebody electric piano or something. 2009 in Sweden.
Nice.
Vasteras, Sweden. Right? I'm sure I'm not. Sort of feel to it when you're just hearing this riff on an acoustic guitar. A funk breakdown at the end.
A funky cowboy.
The Glenn Hughes, the funky cowboy.
A damn funky cowboy.
He held back pretty good on that song, but he couldn't help it at the end.
Nope. Yep, he's always got to throw in the funk.
Yep. So there you go. There's another one.
That was not a song that I thought would lend itself to an acoustic version, but it actually did quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it worked really, really well. And you know, he's not. It's kind of for me the perfect way to kind of rearrange or not rearrange, but redo a song is it kind of hits all the major notes from the original that I really like, but simplifies it. You're getting the best of the vocals for both. You're still getting the riff, which is. It's not easy to make a riff on an acoustic guitar work, but it really makes it work on this one. It's cool, and just having that little electric piano, which I don't think it was there at the beginning, but it came in at least towards the middle and kind of joined him in, and it was just enough backing for that for what he was doing. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I dug it. So we got one more before we get to our patron break here, and. You know, if there was a version of this song around that I would find it. And of course, that is This Time Around.
Are you having fun?
This is from that Australia.
It's a song from an album I did with Mark 3D Purple. A song written with my old dear friend John Lord. And I hope you like this Lachlan and Glenn rendition of This Time Around.
Oh, is that Lucky Dolly on keys? Oh, it is. Yeah, I definitely have to.
All right. The world around us hangs in doubt. You face a crime that we'll hear about. To pay the cost will never be the same. Eternal lovers, we're not to blame. There's no mistakes, there's no refrain. The same surroundings that stood here again. This time, as I look around, rather see the endless time of space go passing by this time around.
So he's so far keeping it a little more on the rails than at the John Lord tribute concert.
So look around,
It's a small guitar he's holding.
the world around us.
The guy to the left of him looks like Chipsy Nuff.
Maybe it is. Yeah, with that hat. It looks like Rod Stewart stole Chips Enough's hat.
To pay the cost will never be the same. Eternal lovers, we're not to blame.
It'd be great if he went to an acoustic version of
There's
Fuji
no
after this. That would
mistakes.
be ballsy.
There's no refrain to feel around us. Stood here again this time. As I look around, you can't be found. To lose you, I would rather see the endless time of space go passing by this time around.
Serious looks.
That guy's
in
like
the
really
audience.
intense. He's like, this is fucking great.
This time
That's how I would be if I was there. I'd be like,
to lose you, I would rather see the endless time of space go passing by. To lose you, I would rather see the endless time of space go passing by. Fly. Oh, thanks.
he saved the frills for the very end again there, but
No, that's good. I think that he's showing as much restraint as Hughesy can show for some of these songs. A couple of things I didn't get was why he was holding the acoustic when he wasn't playing it.
well, I think you probably just in between songs, because they did on this.
Could have
they
put
did
it down.
20. You think he should have had a stand? Well, maybe they were going right into the next song. I don't know.
Well, he could have put it down.
It's
And
like, George Michael, just kind of shaking his butt. Just not
Well-
as much butt shaking.
Also, what year was that?
2006, I believe.
Yeah, see, we haven't gotten to the other thing. I like had nothing to do with the music, but it's just like he was wearing an ill-fitting suit. Unlike the early 2000s, where like just wearing like a really oversized suit was like in fashion. It's like it looked like he came out of the closet wearing his dad's suit. It's like, hey, the arms are all too long and everything.
His dad's. It's like David Byrne.
I'm just like a fan of like more fitted formal attire anyways. I just think it's it looks nicer, and I know that the fashion back then was just like shit was just too big.
Well, the cover of his Christmas album, he's wearing that big suit. This is not my beautiful apartment.
It always comes back to that stupid album cover.
And I ask myself, this is not my gold record of Stormbringer. This is not my vase of sunflowers.
No, this is my dentist office. Your dentist has a gold record of Stormbringer on the wall. So yeah, that's why I go to him.
If my dentist had a gold record of Stormbringer, I'd be all about it. Instead, he wants to talk to me about local high school sports from the 70s. Oh yeah, we were playing Joliet, and yeah, they had a really good quarterback. And I'm like, uh-huh. He talks about them like I know who they are too. Oh yeah, big Jimmy Henderson. Yeah, you know him. He was a big guy.
Oh yeah.
I was like, A, I wasn't alive, and B, I did not live here, so I do not know about early to mid 70s football from this area.
Well,
high school, but not even like professional football, where maybe if I was a sports fan, I would know the history. Like I did not know about local high school football, but
But back to the song though. I think that worked well as an unplugged because you just had the piano and the vocals and the piano unaffected, not the John Lord with all the effects like on the album. Although I think it would have been interesting to hear a guitar on that acoustic
Yeah,
guitar
I was thinking the
with
same thing.
with or instead of the piano. I think that would have been creative.
Yeah, but I think it's a great version of the song, and
Mm,
I didn't even
yeah.
realize until we just watched it. But that I know he played with Lucky Doley, but he is by far my favorite keyboardist at the moment. Like he's so amazing, and I know we've talked about him on the show before, but I would kill to see Hughes with him live. He's Australian. He tours all around. He's a young guy. He's another one that's maybe a few years younger than us.
Hmm.
Amazing chops. Plays this really cool organ where that's basically got this big whammy bar on it, and he does like if you look up his videos on YouTube, you'll just be blown away. You can find him doing all sorts of songs. There's one where he does Voodoo Child with the and he's doing the whammy bar with the organ, and he's just absolutely incredible. I just love his style, and his feel is just amazing. So I would love to see him regardless of whether or not he was playing with Hughes, but there's lots of stuff of him doing good playing Burn with Glenn Hughes and stuff like that. So definitely if you're you didn't get much of a sense for what he did on this, but if you're into looking for a really great keyboard player, definitely check him out. He does a lot of Hammond organ stuff. He's phenomenal. Can't say enough good words about him.
That makes me think of there was a it was recently the anniversary of Randy Rhoads passing, and you know how
Mm.
we were sending those, or you, I think you and Nick were sending those videos back and forth. I don't know who it was, but wasn't there
It was
like a
Derek Sherinian, yeah.
right, yeah, he's another one where he's like doing the keyboard part with a of one of Randy's solos that sounded like it was a guitar, and it's just it still amazes me what you can do on a keyboard or a
Yeah.
synthesizer, just with not only like sounds but like playing to make it match the original instrument.
I think he was doing well, there was one where he was doing the solo from Flying High Again and
Mm-hmm.
using the pitch, and that's hard, man. To use not only to nail all the notes, but to use the pitch wheel to get those bends in.
Yeah.
Really, really well done. And then he did another one which was the guitar solo from Tribute, just the solo he did during the concert. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like he was doing all of those
Yeah.
little flourishes that if you've heard that album a million times is so familiar to you, and he's pretty incredible. Another good one to follow. But anyway, before we carry on, there's one thing we'd like to do, and that is, of course, to thank our core level patrons coming in at the $7.77 Keep It Warm Rat tier. We have Michael Vader. At the $6.99 new nice price tier, we have Fielding Fowler. At the episode $6.66 tier, Steve Coldwell, Arthur Smith, and Anton Glaving. At the $6.65 almost evil tier, Kenny Wymore. At the $5.99 nice price tier, Robert Smith, Peter from Illinois, Michael Bagford, and Carl Hellberg. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Knights tier, we have Zwapper the Electric Alchemist and Newt Morton Johansson. And at the $5 moneylender tier, we have John Convery, German Heindel, Adrian Hernandez, Jesper Alman, Oleksiy the Perfect Stranger Slepikoff, James North, Mark Hodgetts, Will Porter, Kev Roberts, Percival Frequency, Scott Zerns, Cynthia Doobie, Rafcaf, and Richard Fusey. Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right, so we've done a couple of Deep Purple songs, but there's one more heavy hitter in the Deep Purple list for us to tackle, and that is, you probably guessed it, if I can find it in this giant list of songs that I have, and it is "You Keep On Movin'." This is from 1994. I think this is from Japanese TV. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is from the UK. The B-Rock Online Radio. Unless that's just who posted it on YouTube. Look at that pirate shirt he's wearing.
Arr.
So here he's playing an acoustic bass. Not an upright bass.
Okay.
If you're looking for the light, look no further.
Oh boy.
Looks like he's using the same mic we are. Something about an acoustic bass like that, like an acoustic guitar, I've never liked.
No?
I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't seem right. But everybody on like the Unplugged era had those. I like that. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Watch out.
He was still not clean at this point. He still wasn't sober.
No?
But it doesn't matter. I think it was 97 that he officially, like he had kind of had ons and offs through the 90s where he was, it was a hard road. But it's like 70s, 80s, 90s, clean, sober, not. The voice is never seems to be affected.
Well, that's my whole thing about this. Is like if we were just doing audio, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between eras.
No, you would know if you recorded it last week or 50 years ago. I mean, it's honestly.
Well, I mean, except for the fact that in like the more recent videos that he's not wearing a pair of sunglasses, like I can't tell that this is an older video.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever captured him without sunglasses in the last 20 years.
I mean, that goes for like most other rock stars.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that. It's like all the time, even inside. Like, how do the hell do you see anything?
Even when we hung out with Roger at the casino, he was wearing them like at night in the casino. It was all dark and he had the sunglasses on. I mean, I guess when you're that cool, you just have to. It's like it's second nature to you. I'm not cool enough to do that. I can barely see with my regular glasses on.
I'd be tripping over shit.
I am already tripping over shit.
I'd be like, "How you doing? Oi!"
I like the little guitar flourishes they're doing in the background. That works pretty well.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little growly there. Is he wearing big red boots? I don't have information on who the guitar players are with them, but they're really good. quick cut there. I think that was part of a larger show that had several different songs that they performed at that performance. So yeah, I can't find who exactly the guitarists are on that, but really cool stuff. All right, so that
I enjoyed it. I love the fact that he embraces all eras of his music.
Yeah, and it's I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff to a lot of really cool stuff in his past to play, and we're still in the 70s here, but we got a few more. This next one is from one of my favorite albums, and it is from Play Me Out. If I can find it here. And here it is. Sorry, I should have queued this up in advance. It is I Found a Woman from Play Me Out.
We're going to do a
same
song
Australia show
that I've never sang live. It was on my first solo record back in 1977, right after I joined.
Classic old man joke. I love it.
Coming and going back and forth, but I left for real in 1976. Probably ushered out of the door, but no. Now, this is a song called I Found a Woman to Play Me Out.
I know he said a lot of these things he doesn't play live because he just screwed around in the studio on so much of the stuff he didn't really know how to recreate it, so they must have had to do some work on this one.
I wonder where I go.
See, doesn't that seem like a comically small guitar?
I was just gonna say.
Maybe because the suit is so big, I don't know.
It does. It almost looks like either a small guitar or a huge ukulele.
Trying to find you, you know what I'm about. Don't refuse me, hear me out.
Like that guy on the right, he's just sitting there doing nothing.
The violin player, he's waiting for his moment. Well, he should have a moment in this song.
I found a woman. I found a woman. I don't want nothing, only loving. I found a woman to play me out.
You know, that guy's smiling. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's not taking it as seriously.
Or before the other guy was just like tense.
He was very intense.
Hands in the dark, reaching out, trying to find you. You know what I'm about. Don't refuse me, hear me out. There's no doubt, yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's feeling it.
I found a woman.
When isn't he feeling himself?
Yeah, this is very true.
I found a woman.
More importantly, why wouldn't he be feeling himself?
Exactly.
Only your love. I found a woman. I found a woman. I found a woman to play
Very
me
different vibe from the
out.
album, but really cool. Oh, he almost got a little Elvis snarl there.
That'd be great to go to a friggin' small club and see him do a whole set like that. Jeez.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. That's yeah. Well, one day we'll have to review that whole show and see what the violin player can do, because so far the two picks we've had we haven't seen.
Yeah. So far he's just kind of slumped over in that chair, looking kind of like, yeah.
He's like, one day I'll get to show them what I'm made of. Oh man. So we do have two more for you. This next one is from the album, from one of his solo albums, From Now On. And this one is called Lay My Body Down. This one's a little rough on the video.
I've been traveling for so many days through the valleys I have gone.
Looks like that same 94 performance, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why this one's so much poorer.
Yeah.
For the things that I have done. Now I ask you, do you love me? And don't tell me any lies.
It looks like it was recorded. It was the 87th thing recorded over on a VHS tape and then left in the basement for 20 years.
Yeah.
Which may not be inaccurate.
You know what I'm talking about? Check it out. Behind the curtain.
We have some more Glenn Hughes solo albums coming up now that we're kind of into the 90s on the show.
Is a thing we all must learn. As I move across the land, I see shadows in the dust. So how can you judge me when you don't know me? I know you'll miss me when I'm dead and gone. I will keep on riding till the early morning light, till they lay my body down. Everybody, come on.
So maybe these are
I think this is one of the few solo album songs of his that I know.
yeah, it's from
You know which album?
yeah, it's from Now On is the album.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said that before. I think I did have this CD.
Yeah, it's the one where he's like sitting in a chair with a cowboy hat on.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely had that one.
I didn't have this one, but I do know this song, and I don't know why. I must have heard it some other time. But the guitar players on that album, and I'm assuming it's the same too, are Thomas Larson and Eric
I'll be
Boyfeld?
over you, and I will be with you. You'll feel my spirit. I know your faith will pull you through.
Oh, you know. Oh, that's what I know it from. Eric Larson. They both played on Burning Japan Live, that live album from Hughes that is just freaking amazing. That's why I know this song.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Oh, so good. And it's another one where he does Deep Purple stuff, he does trapeze, he does the solo stuff, he does Hughes Thrall, he throws everything in there. It's just great. And they do a proper this time around in O to G. It's awesome. It's honestly probably one of the best live albums I've ever heard. Coming from somebody who's not a huge live album fan.
I know you'll miss me, baby. I know you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Here we go. Till they lay my body. Till they lay my body. Till they lay my body.
Although it looks like around that time he was singing a little more straightforward.
Here almost lost it. It sounded like somebody was shaking. That's all amazing.
But I mean, not that he wasn't throwing in those flourishes, but he seems to be doing more of them like post that current day, whereas he was just kind of like getting through the song more.
Yeah. But a nice performance, and I'm gonna give that record another spin. It's a really good one. All right, so that brings us to our final track for this episode of Glenn Hughes Unplugged, and this one is Glenn Hughes doing California Breed, the song Breathe. Oh, this one's probably gonna be a little loud. I might need to adjust the volume a little bit so I don't blow everyone's ears out. On Planet Rock here. We're into a more modern look for Glenn with its purple glasses. This is from I don't know. I think the album was 2013, so I don't know when this performance was.
So good, I gotta believe in the human race. So bad I wanna, you gotta believe in my love.
It was uploaded in 2014, so it's probably by Planet Rock.
I don't wanna leave you alone. Heavy is the day I'll be gone, and you don't wanna see me step away. It will always be the same, because
He's got the red thumbnail there. He's got a black thumbnail and a red thumbnail. Or maybe it's black. I don't know.
Holy water, my shield is gone to rest. I live in a house by the lake. Now I can see I got it beside what I'm there.
He's playing a guitar there by his company, Gibson.
His- I don't know any Gibson guitars. It's a pretty nice acoustic though.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I gotta breathe. I gotta breathe.
California Breed to me is very, kind of like our Hughes episode where we talked about a lot of his Black Country Communion, California Breed, Dead Daisy stuff, kind of in that same vein of kind of hard rock and Glenn Hughes. But I never really had this album.
All I wanna say, I can give to you.
No, I didn't have a lot of his solo albums.
They were hard to come by. Like, I mean, not by this era, not so much, but like in the 90s when you were just going to record stores, like you weren't going to find Glenn Hughes solo stuff. Like I had to order Play Me Out even just to get that, but you weren't going to come across in an average record store Glenn Hughes solo.
like in the mall or...
No, at that point you would have only had a few out. Like you would have that LA Blues Authority, you would have had From Now On, and maybe one more. I feel like I kind of missed that era. I remember my father-in-law was huge into Joe Bonamassa, and I found out he was starting a band with Joe Bonamassa. I was like, what? Glenn Hughes?
Yeah, that was the most surprising.
I couldn't believe it because my father-in-law is just a huge Joe Bonamassa fan. So I was like trying to hey, we can listen to Black Country Communion, and he's like, it's the only thing Joe Bonamassa did that I don't like. I was like, all right. I tried.
Oh well. I mean, at this point, it's like nothing would surprise me. You'd just be like, hey, look, the new Hughes Clapton is out. Like,
Hughes Clapton.
This freaking guy plays with everybody.
I mean, he really does. Well, really
That's
nice,
pretty good.
Nice performance. Yeah, I mean, even did an album with Joe Lynn Turner. It's like two like, you know, like all-star rock singers together. You'd think there'd be a clash, but hey, makes it happen.
Not at all.
So a little taste of Hughesy. A little taste of Hughesy. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about Glenn Hughes acoustic. If there's anything we missed, if there's anything we need to check out, you know, that's just dipping our toes a little into what's out there with Glenn Hughes. Getting a shorter episode in before the tornadoes come. But before we, a couple things before we break up, but I think we should do the patrons now before we do our little wrap up here. So let's kick it with our patrons. Thanking our foundation level patrons coming in at the £3 aromatic fee tier. We have Simon Ford. At the $3.33 halfway to evil tier, we have none other than Spike the Rock Cat and Spike's mom. At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, we have Peter Gardot, Ian DeRosier, Mark Roback, Duncan Leask, Stuart McCord, Flight of the Rat Bat Blue Light, Ivan Fjeldbu, it's a great life if you know we can. Runar Simonson, it's a great life if you know we can. Oops.
The hell was that?
I got a little loud. JJ Stenard. I'm going off the rails here. Ruinous Inadequacies. John Maselli.
Mamma mia, me maredate.
That might be the best one yet.
Tony Maselli in his element.
And of course, Michael Boyette. At the $1.71, I want my own tier.
Rich, Youngwy, Shayla.
At the 10 kroner tier, Karsten Lau. At the £1 tier, Lord Longford. At the $1 made-up name tier, we have the Unplugged Gravesite, Leaky Mausoleum. We have Stephen Somerville, the Concerto 1999 fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashen Lionel, and...
Blackmore Tights.
I like how Blackmore Tights just joined the Discord, and he made his name Cough Blackmore Tights. Perfect. So good. Well, thank you to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. We could not and would not do it without you. So I feel like there's a Ritchie or a rumor out there about Ritchie that we should probably talk about. Were you in the Discord when we were talking about this?
No.
So the rumor floating around was, what do you think? Ritchie Blackmore is gonna join Deep Purple.
No.
Of course, right?
No.
So it got set out on social media, and then it was like, oh, he's gonna do it for just a one-off show. I'm like, well, that's more likely, but I still don't think so. I mean, he's not going to play anywhere but other than where he is. I can't imagine this happening. And so all day it was going back and forth, and people on social media were like, well, you know where the rumor came from. Everyone said it came from Eddie Trunk. So I was like, well, Eddie Trunk's usually right about this sort of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I can't imagine any scenario where this would ever happen. It would, even for a one-off show. And it went all day. And then finally one of the threads talking about it, Candace responded and was like something along the lines, well, we don't know anything about it in this household. So kind of shutting down the rumor. So I thought it was just,
there you go,
interesting and just kind of, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know why people keep digging this up.
I don't know. I mean, really, I mean, at this point, it's like, why even entertain it? I mean, that was my first thought when you're like, what do you think of the? I'm like, no, no. There's no way. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's silly at this point.
It is. It's ridiculous. And honestly, would you rather hear a new album with Simon on guitar or a new album with Ritchie back in the band? I mean, come on.
No, I want a new album with Simon. I mean,
Of course.
you got to see these guys live. I mean, there are friends that we have, Facebook friends that we met um at the Florida shows, that are like documenting their time following them around Japan.
Yep.
You know, following them around on their current tour. I mean, like lifelong diehard Deep Purple fans. I mean, if they weren't relevant or they weren't any good now, then why would people be doing this? I mean, they're great the way they are now. I mean, I feel like you have to be like part of the, you have to see them live. You have to be into it to understand, you know what I mean, rather than living that fantasy of.
Well, and the fantasy, it's not going to be, the reality of it wouldn't live up to what you're thinking they're going to get back together and make the next Perfect Strangers, the next Machine Head. It's just not going to happen. Nobody's going to be happy. The band's not going to be happy. Ritchie's not going to be happy. And
but I mean, even like,
why would either one of them, either Deep Purple or Ritchie, want that? And why would you want that as a fan? Like you have so much of this wealth of material that they created together, Ritchie in Deep Purple and Mark II and Mark III, Mark I. Like, just let it go. He's been in Blackmore's Night for 27 years, 28 years.
But I mean, even then, you know, I mean, it's just like, what are they going to do for a one-off show? They're going to come back and play everything up to 94 and then just that's it?
Well, right. Yeah. Or are they going to write new material together, which I don't see that working either. It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I think it's,
Anyway, it was just out there, so I figured it was worth addressing briefly. But before we wrap up, I do have something to talk about, and that is, I just got back from St. Louis. Went there for a few days, had a great time. I'd never been to St. Louis before, which everyone around here is so surprised because it's 4 hours from here. It's really close. But we've never been because, you know, I've only lived here for going on 10 years now, and we've just never been. We've been all around, but so anyway, we went to St. Louis, and we were looking to go to this Ethiopian place. I really like Ethiopian food, and the first review that I found was this 1-star review of the restaurant, and then I thought, and so I have to read it in the voice that I heard this review read in. So it says 1 star. It says, here it is. Food is good. We didn't like the sambusa oil smell, was not welcoming. Service is poor, severely understaffed. We had to ask thrice for silverware. He said thrice.
Ooh, all right. You know what? Yeah, you don't take that guy's word for it.
Right. So as soon as I saw thrice, I was like, well, this guy is full of crap. So I was like, I was like, I actually went to this guy's profile, and it's just littered with 1-star reviews of every Ethiopian Indian restaurant imaginable.
Wow.
So I was like, I had to pull up a few others.
Wow.
Let's see, just going through these randomly. There's one.
I mean, really, the only people that say thrice are assholes and people making fun of assholes.
Well, or people in the 1800s.
Well, I mean, in the modern day, anyways. So
thrice. So here we go. Deep Indian Kitchen. Last night we arrived at the place at 8:30 p.m. We were told only takeout was going to be offered, so we were happy to order it. There were 2 employees, one tall chef and other lady wearing glasses. Both of them were very rude. To be specific, the guy asked us not to stare at the food-making process. Not sure why they would leave the kitchen open then. The lady didn't even bother asking if someone was there to pick up food and directly lay it on the table to-go counter. When prompted, we got a cold take in action. I don't know what that means. If the food would have been great, we would have been fine having been eating it something for 4 to 5 years. This was one of our worst meals ever. I bet he says that in every review. We ended up throwing all the food in the trash right outside.
What a shame.
It's just endless reviews from this guy about his eating experience. This other one. This place showcases how food can be not served to a person. It's like he's trying to make these clever quips and he's not even writing it properly. Every dish I go back to for them has been destroyed at new levels. Yes, this is yellow haldi cream with kofta and paneer. I have no idea what dishes these are.
All right, so basically he just keeps going to these Indian and Ethiopian restaurants to be xenophobic.
Well, no, I don't think he likes Indian food.
So why would you keep going back then?
I don't know.
Like, does he just like to brag on these people, or does he
this one he's completing? Freezing restaurant, poor quality. The main door would not shut and it kept bringing in 14-degree Fahrenheit cold air.
Ooh, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, he's just specifying in case. Food spilled everywhere and had the worst time to eat there. Every experience he has is the worst.
Boy, it's gonna be a sad life. Just everything being the worst experience.
He's reviewing an ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Oh, God.
Medical system never fails to disappoint. We are paying top rupee for treatment. Well, I guess this is a place in India, so I guess he is.
Okay.
So he is being accurate there. We're paying top rupee for treatment, but we're being asked to come in early and queue up like traditional 1970s system. We expect better professional system from such a qualified doctor. People have herded outside like sheep or cows that have come to catch a bus. Does not give a hospital feeling, let alone a professional clinic.
Okay, so I'm guessing that he does not live in the U.S.
Well, no, the one he was reviewing was a St. Louis restaurant. Most of his reviews are like, he must travel a lot because he's got a couple I can see that are in India, but most of he's got them in Virginia, St. Louis, New York. He's reviewing an REI.
So let's
another Ethiopian. Oh no, that was the same one.
I was gonna say, what does he just like travel the globe so he can find like Indian restaurants he hates?
This one's Thai food. 1 star. Thali was super inconsistent every visit, so he goes there often. It's
insane.
He's reviewing a dog park. 1 star. No pets here. Super empty. Boring park for a dog.
Okay, so other people aren't at a public dog park and it's their fault. It's everybody's fault that owns a dog.
Yeah, it's like an unstaffed dog park where you bring your dog. It's like, there weren't enough people here. My dog was bored. I'm sorry, my dog was bored, man.
I think his dog probably hates being owned by this idiot.
Biryani City in North Bethesda, Maryland. Every time we come here to pick up on their given time, they make us wait inside or outside for 30 to 45 minutes. Very bad judgment of food preparation timing. I like all of these places. He frequents so many restaurants that he doesn't like.
Well, you know what they say, that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Oh, here's a place in Ottawa, Canada. Pure Kitchen. I don't know what, I'm assuming it's something, but we took a cab all the way there to figure out it was closed. Very disappointed. Should have updated on Google like the other place. I don't know what the other place is he's talking about, but
yeah, I mean, you could have also used your phone to call and see if they were open.
At least trusted Google. I've had that happen to me where Google has the wrong time, but
I
did not write a 1-star review.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, whose fault is that, you know?
Here's a place in Key West. Better Than Sex, a dessert restaurant. 1 star. Only few of the desserts are good.
Better Than Sex? I think not.
Yeah, it's like, I beg to differ. While I hope to have sex someday and haven't yet, He's reviewing he gave Target 2 stars. It's
All
always
right.
crowded, especially the billing counters. Staff does not seem to do anything about it and walk past long queues.
Oh, okay. So let's get pissed at a business for being successful.
They're too busy, yeah. All right, well, thank you, John. Great watching some Hughesy with you, and
Yeah,
we'll see you again
as
next
always.
week for another exciting episode.
Yep, from Tornado Suburbs and Providence. These are your hosts, Booger and I don't know, Stormy.
Stormy, that it was
Stormy and Booger.
Stormy and Booger. It sounds like a morning zoo. Hey, Stormy and Boogie. We need some honking noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, assuming that DPP Studio survives the impending tornadoes, we'll be back at you next week.
Oh boy, let's hope.
All right, later, my friend.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Purple Podcast. If you like what you hear and would like more episodes in the future, please donate on Patreon to support the show. You can also leave us a review in Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for show updates. See deeppurplepodcast.com for more details. Thank you for listening.